pass each other in the night.
Yeah, I agree 100%. People miss each other because they think they're at the same port. But the
Mhm.
port where the husbands are is not the port where the boyfriends are. The port where the wives are is not the port where the Instagram models are.
Exactly.
So we
Which
we
is
go into the wrong
why
ports.
Exactly, which is why people pull up to the port, hang around for a while, and then they just wake up one day and say, "How in the world did I get here? This isn't where I really wanted to go." You'll hear that phrase put
Yeah.
some kind of way. Number one, how did I ended up? How did I end up here? And number two, this really isn't where I wanted to go. How did I get here? And at the end of the day, you rowed your boat
Yeah.
right there.
You know how you got there? You took your ship right there. You drove right there.
I say that so much. I know folks are tired of hearing me say it. It's like, how in the world did I get here? And I'll tell them, you got in the car and you drove yourself right here. You didn't even use the GPS. You knew the way. You drove yourself here. How? By every single decision you made.
And
You got here. You got here. It was deliberate. You don't think so? But if you sit down and analyze the journey that took you there, because there's no way for you to get there without choices popping up and you making a decision. It's like Dorothy on the yellow brick road. And he said, follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow. And what did she do? She started right at that curly Q and she started walking along that yellow brick road, brick by brick by brick by brick. And so, guess what? It wasn't a surprise to her when she looked on the horizon and saw Oz. She wasn't surprised at all because she walked all the way there by every single choice she made, deliberate choice. That's how she ended up in Oz. If you don't want to go to Oz, then get off of that road.
1000%. And see, that's the important part is when we realize we're on the wrong path, a lot of times we think, all right, I'm just need to add one or two bits of information, but I can keep going this way. But the hard part is realizing when you're on the wrong path, it's not you're just on the wrong path. You've been going the wrong direction. You're gonna have to come all the way back. You're gonna have to redo how you set up a life because you can't bring a logical, smart person with emotional intelligence and psychological awareness of where they want to head. You can't bring that person into a dysfunctional life. They won't go. Because what's going to happen is you can't have somebody that's smart with setting up their life, but then you want them to be dumb making decisions of who they're going to spend their life with. It don't work that way. So
Mhm.
you're gonna have to come all the way back and redo your life the way you should have maybe 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 years ago. And admit for
And exactly. And
40
that's
years.
why that's why I try not to give the sisters a hard time, but that's why I say 2024 was a waste. I think, and when I say waste, put it in this context. If you can walk away with lessons learned, then you can say, okay, it was profitable in that vein. But if there was a certain destination you wanted to get to, you wasted a year because you're no closer to your destination. As a matter of fact, sometimes you're a little farther back. And so, coming into this year, if you have a particular destination that you want to make, look, you're going to have to make sure that the car is prepared for the trip and you as well. The thing is, look, what do you want from your life? What do you want? Do you if you want to stay single? Because I know people. I my old 70-year-old self know people who says I don't want to be married. I would never be married, but I don't want to be alone either. I will have relationships with people. I will come in. I will go out. That's me. I'm cool. I know people who have been married, gotten divorced, and said, "Hey, I don't need to do that again." I know people who have married, lost their spouse, they married again because I loved in being married and I loved that union. Or, he or she was the greatest thing and I don't need to get married. Again, all of these are choices that we make concerning how we want to live in connection with somebody else. It's 2025. What do you want? Do you want a serious relationship? Now, if you just want to kick it and date, hey, practice, safety out there, but go do you, booze. But if you are saying, you know what, I am ready to settle down, then you're going to have to sit down and take inventory. You're going to have to sit down and say, okay, what changes do I need to make in my life to be fit for the man I'm looking for? If you think you just going to show up and say, okay, here's the handbook of tricks I can do in the bedroom. Okay, I'm sorry to be so blunt, but look, that's all fine and well. But you got to get up, got to have breakfast, got to go to work, got to come home from work, got to do stuff, have to live a life outside of that one room, have to engage one another with the trials and the tribulations and the happiness and the celebration of life. You got to do that. You're going to have kids or you're not. You're going to have animals or you're not. You have to be fit for all of that. And I don't want to start a fist fight because, I don't want everybody mad at me, but I'm sorry. A lot of females are not fit to be in the relationship. And you know what? I'm being hardcore about it because it's not fair for the guy to get himself all disciplined up and all in shape and he spent a whole year doing all this stuff to be fit for his future wife, and then his future wife didn't feel a need to be fit for him. She just thinks she the prize. You know what? No, you're not no prize. You're a human being. Okay? You're not the biggest prize. He's not the biggest prize. You are two people who are seeing if you are compatible, and if you are, you determine to live a life together. He didn't win a prize, he got a wife. You didn't win a prize, you got a husband. Okay? And if you come into a relationship thinking that you are the prize that the man gets, then you come into a relationship saying, I don't have to do anything because I'm a prize. And what does a prize do? You pick it up. Okay, come on. You went to the carnival. You hit those milk cans. And you got that giant teddy bear prize. And what
Yeah.
happened? You just carry it around. It doesn't talk. It doesn't move. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything. It's not animated. It's an inanimate object. That's what a prize is, people. It's an inanimate object. You are an animated human being, so you're not a prize. Okay? So we really have to really start mapping over and getting rid of old mindsets and bring in new ones. Because if you sitting around talking to a guy like you the prize and he's lucky to get you, guess what? It's gonna be January 2026, and you still gonna be sitting around by yourself wondering where all the good men are. Where all the good men are. They with their wives. That's where they at.
1000%. And one of the tactics in 2024 and 2025 is, and I see it all over the forums, is women trying to work for the man they want. So they want an attorney, so they will get a job as a secretary there. Somebody wants to marry a dentist or get with a dentist, they'll find a way in that office. And two of the companies I consult with, this is exactly what was happening. Exactly what was happening. Now, unbeknownst to them, the brothers that were working there, they don't go on, they're not going for that because guys already know this. And this is happening also in the groups. People are saying, "Hey, I'm going to join this professional group, maybe to look for IT or real estate, but not really because you want to contribute to the group. You're thinking this is a good way to network with the kind of man you want." Guys already know about this. They don't, and honestly, they don't trust the behavior. Now, if you're legitimately looking for that kind of connection, cool. But if you're going into a professional world and you're not really want to be part of that world, you just want the guy, a lot of times that does not work. Now, if you go into like one of these leisure activities, now that's a really smart way to meet a man. Really smart way. Before we go, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there because there's certain segments of the population where the women are having fun and the fun attracts the guy because it's stuff the guy's already interested in. And see, this is one of the changes of whether you want to call it feminism or breaking down the wall between men and women is you have a lot of women that are interested in historically male activities and the men love it because now you have a woman and his favorite activity. It's like he won. So, for instance, and this is genius right here. This is a car club in Dubai, and it's an all woman run exotic car club.
Wow.
So, you see all these women, they got Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Audis, all of this. And what they're doing is they started setting up their own drives. And where do you think happened with the men? The men are all like, who are these people? Where they at? Hold on. So sister girl got a Lambo or a Ferrari? Oh, I got a Lambo and a Ferrari. I got a Porsche. Oh, she looking for a man? And what happened is the leaders of both groups talked to each other and then they set up a whole meetup where the men could meet them and everything. A lot of them walked away with wives. And this is how simple men are. If women knew how simple men are, they would cut 80% of their activities out of their life.
Most assuredly.
And I
Most
guarantee the
assuredly.
guy would replace them with 80% more fun activities.
Hmm.
But just something as simple as, and I looked at a lot of the comments from the women's and they said it was kind of funny. So you could invest 10 grand into a Chanel bag or you can invest 10 grand into whatever activity you already like or activity you think you might like and then you get the guy that's worth 1.7 million. The ROI, the return on investment is incredible. But that's the thing is especially with some of my older clients, I have to tell them you got to get up. You got to get out there. You got to get out in the real world and find some stuff that interests you. Can't be boring. You're not going to find the joys of life on Netflix, on a YouTube comment section.
True,
Go out
true.
there and you'll realize how many other sisters are out there engaged in all kind of fun activities. Maybe they shooting guns. Maybe they're on the dunes. You wouldn't even think of women be on the dunes. They be on the dunes with their dune buggies. They're doing all these things. Even something as simple as video games. Over 80% of men under the age of 45 play video games on a regular basis. And the stats are clear. 3 out of 4 couples that play video games, the woman says that this has been a positive activity and it has made them closer together.
Sure, sure. The
There's
thing
so many
is,
ways.
if you determine what a man's hobby is, and you engage in that hobby, and you make that hobby a part of your life, that's a winner winner right there to a relationship. It
Yeah.
really is. If your guy loves movies, my goodness, and see, that was my guy. George and I love movies.
Hmm.
When we were quote unquote courting, we were in the movies every week. And we talked and talked and talked about the movies. And oh, this is coming out, and oh, that's coming out, and oh, and oh, and oh. That was the enjoyment that connected us. If your man fish, try fishing. Look, I'm not putting a worm on anything. If I catch the fish, I fish. I'm a fight and reel it in, but somebody gonna have to take it off. They're gonna take it off that line. And no, I'm not filleting anything. Okay, that's me. That's the kind of fishing I'll do. Uh, if he's into Comic-Con, if he's into Pokemon, if he into Dungeons and Dragons, if he's into pool, if he's into bowling, if he's into golf or miniature golf, find that fun activity that you and that guy can do together for the rest of your life. For the rest, our kid was a movie buff. Why? Because we were always going to the movies, and now the kid is going to the movie. It's
Hmm.
a family thing. But the thing is, men, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but guys are simple, not in a bad or negative way. They just don't make guys don't make their lives complicated. If
One
you
thousand
find a
percent.
guy, you can find out that fun thing, that hobby thing he loves to do, and you know what? You do it with him. And if it's something that, you don't enjoy, it doesn't seem like it's fun, okay, then you work your way up to it. If you don't like fishing, buy him some fishing gear, buy him some fishing hooks. If you don't like fishing, subscribe to a fishing magazine. Look for something fishing-y for him. There's these competitions out there like Bass Master. Buy him a ticket or two. You can take his brother or his cousin, and they can go off and do fishing stuff. But at the end of the day, you're finding a way to be a part of something. Let me lean in for it. Something he loves and enjoys.
Hmm.
If he loves something and if he enjoys something, how smart and how wise of you to connect yourself to that thing he loves and enjoys doing.
One
How much
thousand.
sense does that make? Come on, like I said, chicks, these dudes are not that difficult to understand. They really aren't. And the great thing about them is they give you the roadmap to help you understand them. All you have to do is ask them a question and they tell you all about it. What they love. Oh, I love this. He'll go running down the road telling you stories about how he and his dad and his uncles and his grandpa, they did all this great stuff. And
Hmm.
all you did was ask him one question, and he told you all this stuff. And now you know, okay, this is something that is really important to him. He takes pleasure in this. You don't have to like it, you don't have to enjoy it. Look, sisters, do you think this guy likes trailing behind you at the mall?
Ugh.
Do you really think he want to go up and down all the aisles in the grocery store? When with him, if he come in here to get four things, he's going to those four aisles, he's getting it and leaving. You go in for the four things, but you going up and down the aisle, and then that basket gonna have more than four things in it. Come on,
I mean,
guys,
I can't remember the last time I've done that.
guys, do that for us. And the thing is, we take that for granted because we so special and we the pride. Okay, we take stuff like that for granted. The things that guys do for us that they don't even like doing. Here's the difference too. We gonna let you know if I acquiesce and I do something for you and with you I don't want to do. You gonna know. You gonna know because I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna have a pouty face, whatever, whatever. Guys will do stuff with us and they will shut up. They won't even talk. They won't say anything. And why? You want to know something? Because they love you. And
Yeah,
they might not get it, but for some odd reason, this is important to you. So I'm coming along
and
because
that's
it's
slowly
important to
dying.
you. And I love you.
And that mentality is slowly dying though, because
It
I
is.
was actually it's quickly dying because
Yeah.
people are realizing they don't have to settle. Men and women, you don't have to settle. You can
Yeah.
go find the right person for you
You
that
can.
you don't have to do all that. But with that, it's about time to wrap it up. All
All right, nephew.
right.